Okay, so again, what I was saying is welcome to Neighbor Foundation's Debate Club class. We will be talking about opening statements. And here today with us, some of you may recognize Miss Vaughn. She and her daughter participated in the debate class, the debate club last year. Mary is such a good debater. So Miss Vaughn has agreed to teach us her expertise about opening statements. Let me tell you a little bit about Miss Vaughn. Nancy Washington Vaughn has approximately 15 years of experience advising private industry managers and government agency administrators on human resources and employment law matters. Ms. Vaughn has extensive experience in labor and employment law matters, including drafting and implementation of human resource policies and procedures, analyzing employment law matters governed by the Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the American with Disabilities Act, the Fair Labor Standards Act, the Family Medical Leave Act, and responding to employee complaint filed and with federal and state agencies. A native of Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Ms. Vaughn earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in Communication Arts, summa cum laude, and a Bachelor of Arts degree in Political Science, summa cum laude, from Austin Peay State University in Clarksville, Tennessee. She earned a Doctorate of Jurisprudence degree from Vanderbilt University Law School in Nashville, Tennessee. Ms. Vaughn is licensed to practice law in Alabama, the District of Columbia, Georgia, and Tennessee. So we thank you so much, Ms. Vaughn, for taking time to talk to us. You are so well qualified. I just thought you were cool because we were sorority sisters. I didn't realize how much you are very qualified to teach us about opening statements and so much more. So I'm so thankful that you've taken this time to talk with us. Students, a couple of house rules. Again, if you have a question, press the hand button so that she can call on you. Please keep your videos on mute to respect her time. And also, students, please take notes because Miss Vaughn, as you can hear, she is well qualified. She knows what she's talking about, as she is willing to give us her expertise. So please do not take this lightly. Have questions ready when she asks you, do you have any questions? And be prepared to participate when she asks you to participate. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who have come today. I'm now going to turn it over to Miss Nancy Vaughn. Thank you so much, Miss Vaughn.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that introduction and wanted to say good afternoon to all of you lovely young scholars. This is very exciting. I know that you're looking forward to hearing more about it, and I'm happy to share. So we're going to jump right into it. Again, any questions throughout? If I see the hands raised, then we'll go for that. Please feel free to ask questions at any time. I mean, there will be time at the end, but I want it to be interactive and I want you all to have a good time and just learn a little bit more about opening statements. So we'll get into it. And the question is, what is an opening statement? And I think you all pretty much know this. Does anybody want to say what they think an opening statement is? Yes.
I think an opening statement is how you tell, it's like a topic sentence, but it's like how you tell the judges what you're debating about and what's your opinion on something.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's what an opening statement is. It's on the screen here. It outlines the side of the debate that you plan to support. So a good one would just explain in an easily understood way what you're going to support, which side of the debate, if it's dogs versus cats or ice cream versus cookies, or whatever position you've made, you want to start your opening statement by making sure that the judges know right away which side you're going to support. You also want to include a theme or a story if you can. Now, opening statements are brief. You're usually looking at 3 minutes maybe, and depending on the debate rules, it could be up to 5 for children or students who are in high school and college, but it should be somewhat brief. You don't want to have any arguments involved or any of your factual points, but you want to be persuasive, get the attention of the judges, say briefly what you're going to support. And so I'm going to give an example on this next slide. Well, actually, first we're going to talk about what you do, like the order that you do this. You're going to start with greeting the judges. That's always the first thing you do. You want to greet whoever's moderating it. Then you want to identify yourself and always say your first and last name. You could say your middle name, your initial, but it's really important to say your full name. I know, at least when I was a child, I would always just say I'm Nancy, but when you're in a formal debate, you would want to say your full name so that they know who you are. Then the side you support, which we talked about, and then try to give a brief story. Think of something that's going to grab the judge's attention about the side you're supporting so that you, at that point, they're ready to hear more. You want to get them excited because really, like, an opening statement is your time to shine and all eyes are on you, your opponents, as well as your teammates and the judges. So you want to be really clear, state your name, state your position, give a persuasive story, and then a short conclusion. So, like, an example is this. If I were doing dogs versus cats, I would say, good afternoon, esteemed judges. I am Nancy Vaughn. I'm supporting dogs in this debate. Or you could say, I'm team dogs, but you want to start with those elements, the greeting, introducing yourself, and then exactly which side you're going to support in that order. Then the next thing you want to do is give some information, like a story. So you would say, during the debate, I plan to provide evidence, information about why dogs are better than cats. And then here's kind of a little quick quote. You can add a quote or a story, but I would say, we all have heard the saying that dogs are a man's best friend. And who could argue with that? And then I'm going to conclude. I'm going to say, in conclusion, during the debate, I will provide evidence or information to support that dogs are better than cats. So to recap, the way I did this is I greeted the judges, identified myself, I stated which side of the debate I was going to support. I gave a short quote or a short story, something that would resonate, that the judges would remember. And then I concluded. Does anybody notice what I did not do, which is a really important part of an opening statement? What element of a debate do you usually have? Okay, I see Matthew and Madison's hand up, that I didn't do in that opening statement.
So reading through the opening statement, you say your name. First you greet the judges, say your name, you say what you're advocating for, and then but you don't argue about anything. You don't start with your argument. You have to be persuasive. You have to explain why that you're advocating for this side.
Exactly. That's absolutely right. You're explaining why, but you're not starting in with evidence. Like, I'm not going to say facts such as, well, dogs probably could better protect you if there was, an intruder in your home. Or I'm not going to say, well, dogs have, can be seeing eye dogs. They can have jobs. They can work, in an airport to smell things. Like, they can, dogs, they can pull a sled, but I'm not going to say any of that yet. Those are some of the facts I would put in a debate about dogs versus cats. Or some dogs can sniff bodies if there's an avalanche, there's snow on top of people. Like, there are all kinds of great things dogs can do, cats too. But if I'm team dog, when I get into the debate, those are the facts I'm going to share. So you're absolutely right, Matthew. It did not say any argument or evidence. It was literally just, hello, this is who I am, Nancy Vaughn, supporting dogs. Everybody's most people have heard that dogs are a man's best friend, simple story, and then you conclude. Okay, the hands up here. Madison, was there a question? Or has that hand just been up? Okay, that's okay. I just saw the raised hand. So that's what you want to do in your opening statement. Again, keeping in mind that that's not the time to share any of your arguments or actual facts. But to have facts, you have to do what? Research. So after you've selected your side of the debate that you're going to support, you're going to need to do research, find the information and the evidence and the facts that support your position. So for example, if you're using an encyclopedia or a reference book, you can find facts sometimes on the internet, make sure it's a reliable source. But if I say, well, dogs can be a seeing eye dog for a blind person, I would need to actually be able to cite some resource that documents that. Of course, we know that because we just see people in the world with service dogs, but you're going to need to do your research like this young lady that's in our slide here. You want to write down your evidence and also your source material. If I were to get information from a Wikipedia or website, I would write down that website address and just have it on my flashcards or on my paper, just in case you're ever asked to cite where you received the evidence to prove that it's something objective. And again, you're citing the facts. So this evidence are going to be things that, look, dogs, okay, you know, they can have service jobs. That's a fact. I could document that. I could research that. But if I just said dogs lick you more than cats, yeah, I don't know that there's really a fact that says that. Or if I just said, well, you know, I like them cuddle up easier with a little dog than a little cat, that's more of my opinion. Because, you know, if you get a small dog and a medium-sized cat, you could probably snuggle equally with both of them. So there's nothing wrong in the debates as you're learning and going through this to occasionally share an opinion about why something's better. But it's better as you progress to have an actual fact, some piece of knowledge that you could share. For example, if it was ice cream versus cookies, and you found a fact that you're on team cookie, and there are 75 ways or flavors of cookies, but there are only 50 of cupcakes or whatever the other ice cream, then that's where you want to say that fact and share it and have something to back it up. Because again, research is always an important part in having your facts and evidence of a debate. So I'm going to go on. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, so going on to evidence, you're going to have fun. Have a scavenger hunt around your house, find an item to show during the debate. So literally last year, as you see these beautiful canines there, those are our dogs. And one of them is right here at my feet asleep, the brown one. He's a boy. So last year, I believe we did cats and dogs, and my daughter was team dog, and she, I think, panned around and showed our dogs who were always in the classroom underneath our feet. So you want to have some cool piece of evidence. You may even make something, depending on what make a craft that you can share. It doesn't have to be something that you already have. I mean, maybe the debate is about ice cream versus cupcakes, and you could bake some cupcakes and decorate them. But it's just a fun way to show a visual aid. That's called a visual demonstrative piece of evidence. If you're in the law, like, you know, if there was a trial about the safety of a car seat, maybe one of the attorneys would bring the car seat and show it to the judge and look at all the features, and, you know, they could buckle it and things of that sort. So that's part of like what lawyers do in court. And it's also part of what people do in debates. At times you can have an item. So that's a really fun part of the debates through the debate club that my daughter liked last year, was getting that physical evidence. And then some general tips are, that first minute is when you grab the attention of the judges. I mean, it is your turn to shine. All eyes are on you. So you want to be very persuasive and very clear, speak with confidence, and state your theme that first minute. So they know immediately, okay, this is Nancy Vaughn. I'm supporting Team Dogs. I'm going to show you why dogs are better than cats and the quick story. But you want to make sure that you at least greet, say your name and say your side immediately with a lot of confidence, and not mumbling or looking down at your papers, because I think that I know you all are all old enough and intelligent, great kids, that you as young scholars could easily say that first part of the opening statement, which is greeting the judges, your first, last name, and which side you support, looking straight into the camera, or if you're in person, right into the eyes of the individual. Another one here is a picture of my daughter last night. She's supposed to be pointing. Like in court or in a debate or a mock trial team, in real life, when you're in person, it's really important. You want to kind of lean in, use your hands, gesticulate, make your points. Because I think that sometimes, at least when I was younger, I would just stand there and I'm Nancy Vaughn, and I was a little nervous, which is understandable. But I think if you just think about, moving your arm, moving in closer to the camera, changing your voice, like, I am going to prove that dogs are better than cats. I mean, you don't want to yell at the judges in a rude way, but just if you speak a little louder or put an emphasis on a word, then it really helps them stay engaged with what you're saying during your opening statement, and also helps you in public speaking in general, because oftentimes during lectures or speeches, if people just talk like this the whole time, cats are better than dogs. I mean, it's kind of boring and monotone. So you want to move your arms around, and not to the point that it's distracting, but so you can keep the judges engaged and speak loudly and clearly. That's really so important. So practicing helps too with your opening statement when you have a time. But again, it's going to be something that you want to be very well prepared, sitting or standing right in front of the camera, and then let your points be known. But that's the basics of an opening statement. Those are the basics. And I know this is being recorded, but Ms. Duckworth too, you could feel free to share these slides with anyone, the PowerPoint as well, because I think that would help, the students, because particularly the slide that we had that had the elements of your opening statement. But I know that we have some young scholars that want to share their opening statements, but are there any questions? Yes.
What does the word emphasize mean?
Okay, great question. So what does the word emphasize mean? So emphasize means to place special importance on something. So have you ever read a book and seen what's called italic font, where it looks a little fancy, almost like cursive?
Yes.
Emphasizing that word, they want that to be something that stands out. So if I'm speaking to you, the way that I could emphasize a word is I'm saying, I am Nancy Vaughn. I'm supporting dogs in this debate. I will show you that dogs are better than cats. It's like with your voice, the inflection, you would just say it a little louder, lean in. That's what that is. So if you were ever writing something for a paper, sometimes people write things in cursive, or you may highlight it. That's just to place a special importance on that, to emphasize something. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments? Or yes, I think this is Matthew here.
Okay, so what is your best method of debating? What is your best method of debating? Like, what is probably the best set of debating?
The best part of debate? I'm sorry, what did you say?
The best method to win debates. Like, what is the best hit?
Yeah, the best method great question. The best method, when I was on the debate team in college, the best method, at least what worked better for me, it really wasn't so much the opening statement or the closing, but having the research. That was that's the meat and potatoes, so to speak, or the jelly and the butter in between, because make sure that you have facts to support your position is so important. And that tends to be most persuasive to a judge, is that this team has said whatever they're supporting and they've shown and demonstrated it. It's really critical. So you want to spend time on your research piece for the evidence that you're going to share, the facts you're going to share during the debate after the opening statement. And if you're very persuasive that way, then it helps. Are there other questions? Or any questions about, I mean, I know we're going to do the opening statement, but if it's okay, if anybody has a question about, you know, debates, mock trial, moot court, law school, I'm available. Nobody wants to go to law school. I can understand that. It's a little challenging, but okay. So we had, I think, some individuals that were going to share their opening statements.
Yes, it was going to be Christina and Oliver. So Christina, Oliver, are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Oliver, since you said yes first. Go ahead and share your opening statement so Miss Vaughn can hear it, and she'll send you her thoughts to your parents, okay?
Okay.
Before we do this, Matthew, do you have a question? No? Okay, all right, so go ahead and put your hand down so we don't think that you have a question. Okay. All right, Oliver, let Miss Vaughn hear your opening statement.
So my opening statement for the Krispy Kreme versus Dunkin' Donuts.
Yes, sir.
Krispy Kreme is simply better than Dunkin' Donuts. That's my opening statement.
Okay. Thank you.
Good
I like
job,
it.
Oliver.
Yeah, it's concise. I like it.
I read all of it.
Not the whole debate, just the opening statement. So like what Miss Vaughn was talking about, the opening statement, the declaration of greatness. So, you know, the first thing that you read when we all had a chance to say why we think Krispy Kreme is the best.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Did you read all of that, or did you still have more to go?
Oh, I read my whole my first stuff. My opening sentence.
Okay, but do you have more to say? I thought you had more to say, but you were just talking about your opening. You read your opening statement. You did that.
Oh, okay. First things first, Krispy Kreme makes more money with fewer locations. In 2020, Krispy Kreme made $1.1 billion, and Dunkin' Donuts made $287 million. Second, Krispy Kreme has more selections of donuts. Krispy Kreme has 216 flavors, and Dunkin' Donuts only has 52 flavors. Last, Krispy Kreme has better customer service. According to customer service scoreboard, Krispy Kreme ranked number 140 and Dunkin' Donuts ranked number 504. In conclusion, based in money made, number of flavors offered, and customer service ratings, Krispy Kreme is simply the best. That is my declaration of greatness.
Great. I didn't know all those facts. That's great. Thank you for sharing very much.
Okay, Christina, please share your opening statement, please.
Dunkin' Donuts is one of the best donut coffee shops in the world.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
That's all that we have as far as the students that had their opening statements. I guess I don't know if anybody else had it. I know we had one planned, but they don't have it. Did anybody actually have their opening statement in front of them? Paul, Peyton, did y'all have yours in front of you by any chance? No? Okay. All right. Well, that's it. That's the only two, Miss Vaughn.
Okay. Well, and I appreciate for sharing and understand that not everybody was able to do that, but thank you for sharing. And then what I can do is send comments just back to you, Ms. Duckworth, and then that can be shared with the parents of those
Yes,
that
ma'am.
participated.
Yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. One thing that I heard you say was that it was concise. Can you, if you haven't already gone over that, can you please explain why being concise is important?
Yes, absolutely. So concise means brief, like very direct to the point. And some of you, probably know the definition of that word, but it's important because if you say too much and kind of start to ramble, or what people will sometimes say long-winded, I think judges start to maybe daydream, or that you just lose their attention. So you want to save more of your speaking time for your argument and the facts and evidence that you're going to share to support your side. So part of that opening statement, because it is greeting the judges, saying your first and last name, saying one sentence that, I'm supporting, or, this restaurant is superior to the other one, or I am supporting Summer in this debate, if it was summer versus winter. So you want to be this concise, brief, then state, your story, your quote, something that they'll remember that's just unique, and then conclude that during this debate, I'm going to be supporting this side. So yeah, it's important to be concise and just to the point in that opening statement, so that the judges don't get bored and they understand, okay, this is who this student is, this is what they're supporting, and then you move on to getting into more of the facts during the debate and sharing a lot more information.
Without giving too much information, because I know you're bound to certain legal privacy laws. Do you remember an opening statement that stands out to you? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, I'm sorry. But do you have an opening statement where you've heard and it just kind of grabbed you, that you can remember?
I do remember one, and it was a case involving it was an employment discrimination case. And so it involved a woman who was alleging that, what she told the EEO was that she didn't receive a particular job because she was a female, and a male was hired for the job. And she also said it was because of her age. Now, the man was younger than her, but he was only 18 months younger than her, and they were both in their 60s. So I didn't think that was very persuasive. But what her attorney did in that opening is she talked a lot about how the workforce needed to be fair, and she, briefly mentioned, information about women perhaps sometimes not progressing in careers for family reasons and whatever reasons. And at this point, we should be at a point where women in the workplace are also have equal access to promotions and positions and things of the sort. And so I just remember, and I don't know, I can't remember exactly how she worded it, but I mean, she was just it was very persuasive. And I remembered because the case wasn't that strong on the facts, because truly in an age discrimination case, you're usually thinking of someone who's 20 receiving a job, and then someone who's 60 is not. So the fact that they were both in their 60s and both close in age, she really had to hone in on the gender difference, because it was very clear he was a male, she was a female. And I felt like she did a good job as best she could with the facts as they were. So, but she was the other attorney, and I was, defending the decision of that particular employer to have hired the man because he was deemed the most qualified person. So she didn't prevail in that case, but I thought it was a really good opening argument, because sometimes you have to really just focus in on personalizing your argument and just using, like when I did with the dogs, like, dogs are a man's best friend. And just finding something that's going to stick in the mind, I think, of the judge is really important in an opening statement or argument. And opening arguments are a little different in court too, and hearings, because you can add in some bit of evidence and facts, whereas in debates, you don't want to do that.
Why don't you want to add in what you said in debates? Like,
it really is just, yeah, it's really just kind of how the rules of debating versus what would be more of an advocacy, which you would do in a mock trial or in college or high school, or a hearing as an attorney, when you're actually in there advocating, for your client versus the other client. So in the debate, there's a topic, but it's not, it's not a situation where you are going to add evidence eventually, but that goes during the debate part. And that's just part of how debate, has kind of progresses, that you have an opening statement. So that's where you're making your declaration of greatness. You're saying what you're supporting. You're trying to bond with the judges and say your name, but legally it's called an opening argument. And that's where you can bring a little bit of facts during that opening argument and say the evidence will show this, that. We will prove, you've seen that on, maybe some of you have seen that on in a movie or something. So it's just a little different when you get into advocacy and litigation, or a mock trial team versus a debate environment.
Xander had a question.
What are the rules of debating?
Well, I mean, they're kind of involved. I mean, starting out, you have your open argument, you have to follow the time frame. So if the judge says you have 1 minute for your opening argument, you need to keep it to 1 minute. They will stop you if they have to, if you're going over. So you want to make sure you know the rules up front. So there's usually, you're going to have your opening argument, your time frame for that. Then they're going to have one side state what their position is, and then the other side would state their position is. That's kind of your main argument. And then you have a chance for what's called a rebuttal, REBUTTAL. And that's where you would go back and say why you felt the other side's case wasn't really good. And then there's a conclusion. So for example, let's just say the debate is, because typically when you're in high school, college, and beyond, you're debating one subject. So the subject could be, is technology good in schools? Like using computers, iPads. So one side, and that's the topic. So then one side is going to say, yes, technology is good in schools because, and they have all their facts, whatever they have, you have greater access to the internet resources, technology is used in the workplace. So students need to learn how to use technology, and they go on and on. The opposing side is going to say technology is harmful in schools and not good in schools. So at that point, when that side would rebut the side that said, yes, technology is good in schools, that other side could say, well, no, technology is not good in schools, even though the opposing side said they can access the internet. That can be distracting. So what you would do is you would literally take what the other side said and have what's called a rebuttal or a statement back that tends to, at that point, make the judge think, well, yeah, technology is good in schools, but wait, now the opposing side has said it could be a distraction. It's not good for students to be distracted. So maybe I'll go with the team that says technology is not good in schools. So that's kind of how, in a debate, you would start out with your opening statement, of course. Each side tells all their position of that one topic, because you're not debating two different, there's going to be one topic. I don't know, should children learn how to swim? That could be a topic. One side's going to say, well, absolutely, that way they can be safe in the water. And another side may say no, because if they're swimming and they swim in the ocean, maybe they'll get bitten by a jellyfish. I don't know. So you take that one topic and then you both argue opposing sides of that one topic. And then the rebuttal part comes in.
I have a fun thing for us to do just to interject. So
yeah,
let's just go with what you just said.
I would let the kids do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say we're just going to practice the opening statements, right? So it doesn't matter what side you're on. I want each person to think of an opening statement to defend or to support should students learn how to swim. Okay, so the question is, should students learn how to swim? Okay, so everybody's going to have a chance to come up with an opening statement for yes or no. Does everybody understand? Give me a thumbs up if you understand. Okay, so let's start off with the Duckworths. Come on, let's get you started. What do you think, Xander?
I think first, good afternoon. My name is Alexander Paul Duckworth, and I am going to be saying, should students learn how to swim? I think yes. And here's my story. I almost drowned one time in the pool, and because I didn't know how to swim as good anymore since COVID. And without those lifeguards, if they didn't know how to swim, I would have probably drowned because I didn't know how to swim. And if I did learn how to swim, I would have been able to go to the edge safely and be able to rescue myself. But since I didn't, the lifeguard saved me. And plus, when kids can learn how to swim, so they can save other people too. So they can save other kids who do not know how to swim. And for my conclusion, I think you should always learn how to swim because it can save lives and you can save yourself from anything in the water.
So I just want to interject. We are only saying the opening statement, okay? You're not doing a full debate, just the opening statement, okay? All right, so very good. Carly?
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For my opening statement, it is, I think that you should learn how to swim because if you know how to swim and you're in the sea and then you don't know how to swim and then you drown and then nobody can save you, then it's like you have to learn how to swim, because if you don't, then it could be a life-threatening situation. Like you could be in the sea and a shark is trying to get you and you can't swim.
Oh,
Or you could drown and you don't know how to tread. It's a lifelong situation and it's really dangerous if you don't know how to swim.
Okay, good job.
Yep.
Again,
good job.
we just want to stick with the opening statement, so you don't have to give your evidence, right? Is that right, Ms. Vaughn? We're just
Yes.
talking about the opening statement.
Not in the opening statement of the debate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you.
Yeah, that was a good. Y'all started us off good. So thank you. All right. Next, Jamari.
I think children should. Hello, my name is Jamari Manco Waters. I think people should know how to swim because they can save their life and other people's lives.
Great.
Matthew.
So, hi, my name is Matthew Elliott Chandler, and I'm here, and I'm advocating for kids learning how to swim, because there's one time a kid named, I think his name was, I'm gonna say his name was Matthew, because that's not my name, and he was swimming in like a beach, and he went so far off he went like 300 feet offshore, which is a long way, until somebody actually noticed he was that far away, and actually somebody had to come swim with him really fast and save the kid. So if he would have learned how to swim, he would have not been falling off that fast.
Yeah.
Because actually that guy was actually in the Olympics.
Oh,
So he saved that kid and he was brought back to his parents. Yeah.
thank you. It's a good job.
Okay, good job. Let's hear, let's see, Christina.
Good afternoon. My name is Christina and Kathy, and yes, I think kids should learn how to swim because, for instance, if you are somewhere where a lifeguard is not on duty, you should be able to learn how to swim to save your life or other people's life.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Paul Payton.
Good afternoon. My name is Paul Davis, and I'm on the side of people. Students should learn how to swim because if students don't know how to swim, they can be put in very dangerous situations. They could fall off somewhere and would land in the water, and if they don't know how to swim, they will end up drowning. And that's why they should know how to swim.
Thank you. Good job.
Good afternoon. My name is Peyton, and I think people should learn how to swim because what if you were like on a boat and then it sink and then you would drown.
Thank
That's
you.
why people should learn how to swim.
Good job.
Okay, Justice.
Hi, my name is Justice, and I think kids should learn how to swim because if you don't know how to swim, you can just drown.
Thank you. Good job.
Oliver.
Hi, my name is Oliver Mims, and I'm representing kids should know how to swim because it's fun and that it could save lives. That is why I am representing kids should swim.
Thank you. Good job.
Okay, Daniel, Hannah.
Hi, my name is Daniel Elisha Magaha. I think it is really important for kids to swim because just like everyone else said, it could be really dangerous to be out in water and not know how to swim because you could drown or get injured really bad. So I think kids should learn how to swim.
Thank you. Good job.
Hi, my name is Hannah Elizabeth McGaha, and I think swimming is good because like what if you were in the ocean and something was chasing you and you didn't know how to swim? You could get hurt or eaten. So that's why I think you should swim.
Okay, thank you.
Miss
That's a good job.
Vaughn. Yeah, Miss Vaughn, that is it. That is all of our students, I believe. Did I leave anybody out? I didn't think so. I think everybody. So that was great job, you guys. Miss Vaughn, we are in your hands and it's time. I guess we could wrap it up.
Okay. Absolutely. I was going to say, I appreciate everybody participating and thinking just right on the spot. So since we didn't have any of the opposing view, I'm going to give an example of a student or an individual who was opposing the student should learn how to swim. So good afternoon, esteemed judges. I am Nancy Vaughn, and I oppose the notion or the idea that kids should learn how to swim. Because there could be issues where students are sometimes overly confident in the water and they go too far into the water and they could be harmed. During this debate, I will provide additional evidence and facts about why it's not good for students to learn how to swim. That's kind of my opening statement. Although in real life, I would absolutely advocate that everyone should learn how to swim as young and as early as possible. But since no one did the other side, I thought we would just have that as an example of when there's a one topic debate. And the topic is, should students or children learn how to swim? And then all of you advocated, yes, they should. You all thought it was a good idea for safety for themselves and others. And I agree. But then at some point, there would have to be the opposing side in that debate. So one person or one group of people would have to say, no, it's not a good idea for students or kids to learn how to swim. And maybe there are arguments that they need to be older and learn how to swim when they're teenagers. I mean, I don't know, but that's how debates, are handled with that one topic, and then one opening statement that supports, yes, learn how to swim early, which I agree with, or the side that says, no, not necessary that they absolutely know how to swim. So I'm just delighted to have had this opportunity this afternoon with all of you young scholars and your enthusiasm and participation. Thank you for all the questions. And if anyone thinks of a question that's submitted later, I'm happy to send an email back to Ms. Duckworth and make sure that the information is shared, or if there's a resource I can provide, I'm happy to do that. I'm a homeschool mom too, so I know how we all have to support each other and rely on each other. And I will provide some comments back on the opening statements that were shared.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vaughn. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm just grateful that you did that opposing argument, because now we have it recorded and the students can always use that example to bring their debate skills to the next level. So thank you so much for your time and just your expertise and your care for our community.
Oh, well, it's my pleasure. I appreciate being asked, and hope that you all enjoy the rest of your afternoon and on through the holidays, and just keep learning, kids. That's every day. Even at my age, I'm still trying to learn new things and read books. And so continue the journey.
Thank you so much. Everyone have a great day. You did amazing. I'm so proud of you. We'll see you. Okay, so there's no debate next month. All right. It's Christmas holiday, Thanksgiving holiday coming up. So we're going to be taking a break. Okay. But it's not a break from each other, just a break from debate for next month. Okay. So we will see you next time. All right. Have a great day.
Bye.
Have a great day. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn.
Thank you,
Oh, you're
Miss
welcome.
Vaughn.
You're welcome.